Interesting, Christoph hasn't played a hand, Jesse, since that bluff was called down.
175? I happen to have it. Hold on just a second.
Call.
Happen to have it right there.
Yeah, there's no reason to be too eager, is there?
Pass.
But Paul Marrow, who's raised this pot up, with the Jack 4 suited, and he's gotten called in 2 spots. He is an action player, isn't he? And Ken has got him in his sights.
He's playing everything.
Now that's kind of under the heading of a huge
Check.
flop for James.
Wow.
A top pair,
Look at
flush
that.
draw.
It's a simultaneously check. That means good things for me. I'm going to bet here. I'm going to bet 525.
I mean, these are the kind of spots you love with the suited connectors, aren't they?
It's a beautiful flop. And he's going to get called here.
I think he might be getting raised. Those yellow chips are worth 1,000.
Raise.
No.
1375 total.
1275?
13.
1375.
This is a big decision here for Ken and James. I mean,
1375.
Paul's played this kind of like he has an overpair, hasn't he?
That's it. That's going through Kenna's mind.
Or a set, or
1375. All right. I'm with you.
I mean, he obviously doesn't want to fold, but a re-raise had to close his mind. And, I mean, all of a sudden, this pot is now big enough that these guys could be playing for stacks.
It's the biggest pot we've had so far. What a turn.
He's at the flush. I was going to say, if Ken and James missed there, was he prepared to call a big bet? But he didn't miss. You got to love that flush.
He has to check here.
1750.
1750.
Hand is over.
Yeah. Slow down, Paul.
No way.
He's not. And this has been brewing. I know we've only been playing for about a half hour.
He's just called here.
Call.
This has been brewing.
Bottom pair.
Kenna has been at him. He's been taunting him. He's been talking at him.
Serious.
And, I mean, is Marrow prepared to call another bet?
I don't think Kenna's going to bet this. Not with the board paired. Surely not.
31.
I mean, there's
He
actually...
does. It's a value bet, yeah.
There's actually a couple hands that beat Ken and James out there, but... Oh, my
Raise.
gosh.
He's raised.
6-2. 6,200.
Kenna just tried to swallow, and there was nothing there. His mouth is dry. He thinks he might...
See-through coin, huh? Give me, huh?
He thinks he might be up against a full house.
He did not need to bet that.
That looks like a set, doesn't it? I mean, all KJ can beat is a bluff here.
That's it.
Is he prepared to go broke this early in the tournament? There's 16,000 in this pot.
Paul's heart is racing 1,000,000 miles an hour.
What a bluff! The sheer audacity.
He's put almost all his chips in here.
I mean, if Kenna wants to roll this back, I mean, is there any way that Paul could be raising here with some kind of hand that he thinks is the best hand but isn't? You know, like an ace-king with the ace of spades? Or it has to be a full house or nothing, doesn't it?
That's it.
Or maybe a nut flush, or...
Huh.
And I mean, for KJ...
Got each full, huh?
For Ken and James...
That is a cold deck right there.
If he calls here and loses, he'll be down to about, I think about under 3,000. He can fold here and still have about 7, 8 on his stack.
Cold deck.
He's not going to call.
He's going to
Jesse.
pass.
Pass.
He passed it.
Oh, wow, what a pot.
Paul the jeweler bluffed him.
This,
Well done, Paul.
Thing back, will you?
He showed
He
it.
shows it. That is class.
Jack 4?
That is class.
Oh, my. Kenna wants to know how far it is to the airport.
Perfect time to show your cards.
Wow.
That's the first time that's ever been lucky for me.
The table is stunned. He had with Jennifer Tilly, and 30 hours takes a lot out of you, Dusty. I mean, He's quite an athlete, Alec, but after this poker session, man, he looked done.
Well, that's the nature of this game. I mean,
It's mine.
you can't just come here with your strong poker mind and expect that to be enough. You need to have this superhuman ability to focus for 30 hours straight, and it's no.
I have one, yeah.
You know, it's just not a guarantee you can be able to do that.
I mean, you give me some of the worst players in the world, and their A game is a lot better than a lot of the best players in the world D game. I'm telling you, there's not that much of a difference, you know. I mean,
Yeah, they'd be wise to kind of shut it down a little bit and kind of pick their spots a little bit more rather than trying to put themselves in these conundrums when they're not thinking as well. But then they don't want to get evicted and become boring for television, so it's you kind of end up in a conundrum there as a player.
Oh yeah, no ice in there.
We need ice.
Just a cup of ice, we just chuck it in.
Tony is just, I mean, not as ill as he's having fun, he's shouting, he's yelling. Yes, at every stage of this big game, he's just gotten smashed with the deck.
Cool.
Yeah, he really has. It's been the Tony G show. It was the Biffer show last year, and now we have Tony G just destroying everybody.
I got options.
Did Roland just flat call there with the fives for 1,000?
Yeah.
He made an overcall?
Yeah.
Is that possible? Madison bet it.
3,000.
Tony called and DeWolf overcalled for $1,000?
The only way you do that is just because you want to represent a lot of strength, thinking like, man, this guy must have a real hand to be overcalling two people like that. But he didn't end up making a play on the turn. You know,
I got it.
He can't be calling for value.
He's got the blockers to bluff the straight.
Raise 10,000 total.
I was waiting.
I set the trap.
Oh, that would be brilliant. We get us all on together.
Wow.
So he's representing the 4-5, and Tony's got to be thinking, what could he overcall with and then raise this river with that I beat? I think this one is going to work.
Fold.
He bluffed him. He showed it.
Squeeze it like baccarat. Like baccarat.
Very good job.
Wheels are off.
Gus has that "where did most of my chips go" look on his face.
Yeah, last time we saw him, he lost a lot of chips. At his table is John Armbruster, a high school teacher, moving from Atlanta to L.A. right now. They lost his luggage, so he's wearing the same clothes every day at the main event.
Well, he went to Duke University, Lon, so it's going to be tough for him to win me over.
He raised it with pocket deuces. Hansen with pocket sixes.
Gus didn't go to Duke, did he?
No.
Okay, I'm rooting for Gus.
Gus raises it up to $222,000. And Armbruster makes the call with pocket deuces.
See, if Armbruster had gone to the University of Maryland, he'd know he was dominated.
All right, here we go. To the flop. Hansen with the advantage. The flop, 7-10-7 misses both. Gus still leads. Armbruster checks it.
All right, Gus, let's blow this dookie right out of the hand. Let's do it, buddy.
Check.
I don't like that check.
What's your boy doing?
I would have bet $363,000.
Ace on the turn. Gus still ahead.
200.
Armbruster acts now. $200,000.
Who's he kidding? All right, Gus, let's put them all in. Heidi-ho, man. Heidi-ho.
Yeah. You know what? I'm just going to fold.
What the heck was that, Gus?
Wow.
And he shows him the deuces.
And Gus gives up over $200,000.
Wow. How did it call 160 and 400 behind? Wow. That was a bad plan on my part. And then you bet the A's. That was wow.
Armbruster has Gus muttering.
Wow. Sick call. Right.
He's been around a long time. He's a mixed game player. Plays, cash games mostly. He's adapted to online, but he's definitely old school. Doesn't know the whole C-bet lingo. He's not a forum guy.
Oh. No problem. No problem. No wars, just love.
And Luke's gotten involved from first position.
Cool.
Giovanni.
Queen,
Action.
9-10 jack. Raise, all in.
Three-way pot.
Blank. Gulp. That's it. Just gulp. You don't get that for points. There was nothing to do. It's hard to go like this.
It's amazing how that happens, isn't it? They've all got the same cards and it just goes bam.
Completely nailed this flush. Safina's got the best hand here.
That's not wine, that's coffee or something. Yeah.
Why has Luke checked?
Milk. My little milk.
Check.
Tea, actually.
Luke's just got a straight draw. There's a flush draw out there.
That's what my throat needs.
Now Vanessa actually, interestingly, has a double gutter. She can get you 9 or a king. So everyone's got a little bit of this. Luke is deciding he's going to take this pot, feeling nobody has an ace. He's going to go for the bluff.
Where are you living in Panorama? Yeah, I live there. But I mean, I live in LA too. 35. I work out.
Safina doesn't believe him. He thinks his tens are good.
Wow.
So now Vanessa may call for value here because there's a lot of money out there.
Cool.
What do you foresee happening on the river if they all miss?
The only one I think that has the guts to really fire a monster bluff is my man Luke Schwartz, and he with the pot that big, he may decide to just go at it if nothing comes or something. He's thinking about it.
Red 3's a blank.
Giovanni with just tens. If Schwartz were to make a big bet at it, this would be a hero close. Russo's, oh, he's going to bluff at it.
It's such a blank.
This might work. This might work out even better.
But
for
it's
Schwartz.
such a blank.
He's making a huge mistake here. This is actually could work out for Schwartz. If he makes a weak bet here, Schwartz will pick up on the fact that he doesn't have a big hand and potentially just shove on it. I highly believe it's a big mistake for him to bet. So he's betting. If Schwartz doesn't think he has it, a raise on the river has some credibility. So bet at 55,000. If he sticks it all in here, feeling like his opponent's weak, he'll steal this pot away from Safina.
How tough is this for Schwartz to do?
Not all that tough. I think he's going to do it. I really do. It's an obvious situation. Obvious move! I told you! There's no way he can't do that because there's no way Safina can have a hand that he's going to check call on the turn with so many draws out there. If he had a big hand, he would have had to protect it. It's an obvious weak. It's actually a rookie bluff. It's the first time I've really seen Safina make a real weak kind of rookie move.
Wow, is Safina looking at him? Is Safina reading him? Does he sense weakness?
I think you.
That's what I'm fucking talking about. That is what I'm talking about.
Oh!
That is what I'm talking about.
You are. See, that's why I check with things like Full House and stuff against this sick puppy, because he's sick.
I knew
Bubblegum
it.
Schwartz is sick. I'm telling you, authentic. It's not even